Everyone, gather round, gather round. Because we got to talk about one of the biggest flip-flops, bombastic, dishonest, and money-hungry grifts we done seen in a minute.
He was actually like in that time, like doing like journalist sort of thing.
Yep. I think it was a Reddit account. Oh, here.
That's so shameless.
It's pretty insane to see the difference in, yeah.
I'll look it up. Thanks. I'm interested. It's just because
like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I would have, if somebody would have told me this, I would have never imagined he would ever have typed this 11 years ago. So the top question was, do you think the protests will escalate? If so, what would be the consequences internationally? And his response was, it's a coin toss. Like most uprisings, more people come after police get violent. If they try to evict by force or attack protesters, more people will come. Also, if the rumors are true that Yanukovych will sign or has signed a deal with Russia to join the customs union, people will be angry. So it's crazy that at the time he knew all the conditions were there. You didn't need like a CIA op or whatever. Like people were legitimately upset about this, and he knew all of this at the time. Yeah, so it's really stupid. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
so
actually
just lies.
Yeah, so he's just a nasty flyer on the payroll, just how I thought he was.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, why are those people like making money on the destruction of my nation? It's unpleasant, to say the least.
Pretty gross. Oh, this is why I thought of this, because you mentioned the Syrian thing. Somebody said, does it seem as if the general population is in support of the protesting, or is more of a group of people going rogue to the disgust of the populace? The media coverage is rather sparse in the U.S. of what's actually happening. And his response was, yes, there were 400 to 500,000 people here in Kyiv on Sunday. It definitely seems to be a popular movement. Yeah, it's so crazy to see the difference in opinion.
Dude, I cannot believe this. And nobody brings it up. Like his fans, I haven't seen this. It's just absolutely like I'm so tired. I'm not gonna give them any of them benefit of the doubt anymore. Like maybe I will fire some shots and misfire. Like a person is like as a Russian paid dude and I misfire, but that I'm going to do it from now on because I gave all of them the benefit of the doubt. Even the Lex Friedman thing that people like criticized me on, even Reddit on DigiG. When I posted it back in the day. And now it turns out he's a Putin sim and used to be. And he was talking about how glorious and great that guy is and how everyone in his Russian family loves him. But then his family became Ukrainian family when it was convenient in a conversation. So it's just... I
don't believe anybody's backgrounds or anything anymore. Everybody lies about all this crazy, the content creators.
Yes, I'm not buying that anymore. People try to shame me into thinking they're just dumb. They just don't understand. No, they're dumb. They know exactly what they're doing. People with millions of subscribers and huge successful channels are not dumb.
This comment was,
unless they want to be.
This comment was, the far-right Ukrainian Nationalist Party, Svoboda, has been orchestrating riots amidst the demonstrations, defacing public and private property, beating up ethnic minorities, etc., etc. Do they have a strong presence amidst the uprisings, or are they just a fringe group of crazy? What are the chances that these fascists might seize power or gain popular support? Tim's response was, from what I understand, it's not likely that Svoboda wins, but there are many different nationalist organizations that are influencing the protests, particularly the Information Center and Security. I'm told there are some far-right protesters starting fights as well, but it's important to know that no one thinks they are fascist, though. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Yeah, reading through this AMA was, it's just crazy how much it's changed.
Correct. Yes, this just proves everything I already thought. It's people are they just don't understand things. That's the quote. I am not sure exactly in English, but it's something like, it's complicated, difficult to get a man to understand things when his salary depends on not understing those things.
I know what you're talking about. Yes,
I just don't know it in English. I know it, in Russian, but whatever. It's just that it's those guys. They're not understanding it on purpose because their salaries depend on it. Yeah, it's just very frustrating to deal with. The people are drowning in lies, and that's familiar to see.
It's gross to me too, because being a streamer, one of the things that comes up a lot in streaming, we're used to, was the idea of taking unethical sponsorships. And I'm sympathetic to people that have to take unethical sponsorships who are barely making it. But I think it's especially gross when you have people that are multi-millionaires. It's like when Hassan says there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. I have no choice. And it's bro, that's for people that are earning 30,000 USD a year, barely scraping by. That's not what you say to millionaires. So the idea, it's not like Tim Pool was barely making it and he couldn't survive and now he has to sell out to just barely make ends meet. it was like he collected $5 million last year because he was doing Russian propaganda. Like, it's so crazy to me.
Yeah, they're just greedy. They're just money hungry supply. Yeah, it's just so. And I'm just like, I don't know, like what to do. People like ask sometimes, like, what do you do with that? I understand you have like different, obviously, rules like of free speech and things like that. You know, in the United States, but it's just that like there has to be something done. Like if I might be like, you know, a barbarian Ukrainian who doesn't understand the glorious free speech thing, but to me, lies is not free speech.
Yeah, the problem is most of the people that are talking about free speech, and every time I bring this up, people always like clip me and say I'm a threat or whatever. But like, yeah, people don't care about freedom of speech in the United States. They just want cover to lie about everything. And that's all they use it for. Anytime somebody's like obsessing over freedom of speech, usually they're just somebody that wants to lie a ton and not get in trouble for it. It's really cringe.
Yeah, and just like how it's called? Rubin. Yeah, Rubin. Like that guy, he's like free speech to free speech that, and he was getting money. You were lying for a foreign government. That's not free speech, brother.
Yeah, cringe.
Yeah, it's just without disclosing it.
Very cringe.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, what do you do, though? How do you battle that shit?
I don't know. You fight the good fight. One YouTube video at a time. I don't know. Yeah, it's.
So you're the crusader again, nobody else.
Jesus.
I just, win the war, dude, somehow. Oh.
No, sorry, you're good.
What?
I have my audio is routed weird.
Yeah,
I just thing that I'm like focused on for a while is just making people understand that the media environment is like really, really, and that like that's what has to change more than like how do we message or you know how do we do this or whatever. And people need to understand that right now the media environment is like very, very not good for facilitating good conversations or even accurate or truthful conversations. Yeah.
You ever see somebody switch up so hard that it make you question if they ever really believe the things they used to say? We talking about somebody who went from boots on the ground truth seeker to a full-fledged, paid-in-full propaganda puppet. And no, this ain't some small fry. This ain't your average YouTube reaction guy trying to farm clicks off drama. Nah, we talking about Tim freaking Pool. Now, let's keep it a buck. Back in the day, Tim was out there in the trenches, sliding through protests, putting out updates on Reddit, claiming to be all about that real journalism. This man was live at Euromaidan in Ukraine back in 2013 to 2014, watching history unfold and breaking it down like he actually understood what was going on. He was answering questions, giving people the rundown, letting folks know what the deal was. And back then, he wasn't pushing none of this CIA op nonsense. He knew what was happening. He knew that the people were mad, cause their president, Viktor Yanukovych, was about to sell them out to Russia. He knew that the protests were organic, that they weren't some deep state plot, that it was real people fighting for their country. But now this man want to act like none of that ever happened. Now he pushing every Kremlin approved, straight off the FSB desk, talking point like his pockets depend on it. And oh, guess what? They do. 'Cause your boy got caught. Yup, straight from the Department of Justice. It turns out Tim Pool been getting that sweet Russian ruble money from a shell company disguised as an independent media organization. A shell company, bruh, like a straight-up laundromat for propaganda funds. This ain't a theory, this ain't speculation, this is real, actual receipts-level fraudulence. And yet, somehow, his fans out here acting like they ain't see nothing. But let me take y'all back real quick, 'cause I want you to understand just how deep this switch-up goes. See, back when Tim was actually in Ukraine, he was talking like a real reporter. When somebody asked him if the protests would escalate, what did he say? He said it was a coin toss, but he also said that if the police got violent or if Yanukovych signed a deal with Russia, things would pop off even more. He knew what was at stake. He knew what was going to happen. And guess what? He was right, 'cause that's exactly what went down. The government cracked down, people fought back harder, and eventually, Yanukovych got the boot. So back then, Tim understood. Back then, Tim was capable of telling the truth. But fast forward to today, and suddenly my man don't know nothing. Suddenly, Ukraine is just a pawn of NATO, and the Euromaidan protests were orchestrated by the West and Russia. Oh, Russia just trying to protect its interests. Let me tell y'all something. This is the kind of heel turn that don't happen naturally. This the kind of 180 that come with a big ol' bag of dirty money. And surprise, surprise, Tim Pool been cashing out. $5 million last year alone, all while running a so-called independent news operation that just happens to parrot the same exact narratives that Putin's state media be spitting. Bruh, make it make sense. See, this ain't even about political differences no more. This ain't even about Tim being a right-wing grifter. 'Cause let's be honest, he been on that wave for a while now. This is about outright, blatant, straight-up selling out. This man went from journalist to propaganda pusher so fast, it'll give you whiplash. And the wildest part? His fans don't care. His audience don't care. They'll eat up whatever he say, no matter how much it contradicts what he used to believe, no matter how obvious the money trail is. And let's talk about that money, 'cause that's the real reason all this is happening. Tim ain't broke. Tim ain't some struggling, up-and-coming reporter trying to make ends meet. This man's sitting on stacks. So what excuse he got for taking money from a Russian shell company? What excuse he got for pushing narratives that directly benefit a hostile foreign power? There ain't one. At this point, it ain't about free speech, or just to skin questions, or any of the usual BS these grifters hide behind. It's about money. Plain and simple. And y'all know what's even nastier? The way he try to gaslight people. Like, bruh, you can literally pull up his old Reddit posts from back in the day. We can see what he used to believe. We can see that he knew the truth. But now he act like that was a different person. Now he act like he never said those things. He banking on his audience being too lazy or too brainwashed to check the receipts. But guess what, Tim? We got him. We see you. And look, let me just say this. If you got millions of subscribers, if you making millions of dollars, you ain't dumb. People love to give these grifters the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, maybe he just got misinformed, or, oh, maybe you don't really understand what's going on. Nah, cut that out. Tim Pool knows. He been new. He just don't care. And that's the difference between a real journalist and a sellout. So yeah, this whole thing is disgusting. It's gross. It's exactly what people mean when they talk about how dangerous these so-called alternative media figures can be. They ain't here to tell the truth. They ain't here to challenge narratives. They just here to cash out, push whatever line their paymasters tell them to push, and keep the grift going for as long as possible. So what's the move? First off, stop giving these people the benefit of the doubt. Stop acting like they just don't know better. They do. Second, spread the word. If you got people in your circle who still watch Tim Pool and take him seriously, hit him with the receipts. Show him the old Reddit posts. Show him the DOJ report. Make it impossible for them to ignore the truth. And lastly, stay sharp, because this ain't just about Tim Pool. He just one piece of a bigger machine, a machine that's built to manipulate, misinform, and manufacture consent for some real foul agendas. It's up to us to push back, to call out the lies, and to make sure the truth actually gets heard. So yeah, hold this L, Tim. You earned it. And to everybody else, stay woke, stay informed, and don't let these grifters play you for a fool.